Hey, it's Steve Zanardi here, back again with Real Estate on Record. We got Mike Gaddy here, of course, and we got our special guest from the east end of Toronto, Hussein Gabani.
That's
East,
right.
East meets West all over again.
That's right.
Just to clarify, you're not east end of Canada.
No, not quite. We're just kind of on the other side of Toronto. So kind of like Pickering, Ajax, Durham region. That's what we're covering here.
There's always been fraud and get quick rich schemes. Always. I mean, you got to sort of kind of smell it out. If it's too good to be true, it's normally too good to be true. Grant Cardone's amazing. Clearly, he's done it, but ultimately, a lot of his stuff is like fluff, right? Like I don't know. I've never read a book of his, but I never really pulled anything out of it that I can really put into my like daily.
He's also
Life.
selling like a program, right? To
Yeah.
sign up
It's like
for.
a REIT.
REIT, yeah.
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 It's like it's selling a course.
He sells a lot of courses.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top of the REIT.
Coaching, right?
It's a coaching program. It's still sales, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone thinks that they are some kind of like a influencer or something else like that because of social media. I think people think it's almost like a job that they can just pick up. And I hate to say it, but a lot of times people don't even have the credibility, the knowledge, the experience to actually even be advising people. And I'm going to go out there and say it. Like, you know, there's a transaction I was actually doing. Someone in my farm, they actually ended up not using me to list their property, got really bad advice, ended up selling the property, and then turned around and actually came back to me to help him find a property. And I was like, well, why didn't you call me? I've been working in this area for 10 years. Like, you know my name. And he's like, I can't even answer that for you because my dad asked me and I couldn't answer him. So I can't even tell you why I didn't call you. I should have called you.
Yeah.
He's like,
But why did you call the other guy?
Because I'm not sure why, but they got 3 opinions about it. They decided to go with this person. You know why they went with them? Because they're active on social media, but they're not really posting about real estate. And guess what? They said that they were a real estate coach. Turns out that I had their deals ran, and they've done like an average of 2 or 3 deals for the last like 5 years. So.
Wow.
You bring a valid point because I'm starting. We did the rents and numbers this weekend
Yeah.
too, but a lot of people on Instagram, right, like running stages and stuff like that, and you know I can kind of smell bullshit from a mile away. I got to be honest, and I told Mike early on, like everything's shinier from the outside, but when you start digging deep. There's like it's like seeing a beautiful house on the exterior. It's like all done up. Then you open it up and it's just studs. There's nothing there.
It's like
nothing.
a movie set.
It's a movie set, yeah. It's like skeleton,
That's a good analogy, like a movie set.
pretty much.
It looks beautiful, but there's nothing there.
So,
Yeah,
so
you look
wh-
behind it, it's just a couple 2x4s.
So what I don't understand is even the people following, can they not like sense like there's no production behind it, no experience? Like
No,
I
of
don't
course
get it.
not. There's too many filters out now. That's the whole problem, especially in your industry. A lot of realtors, they look like they're doing 100 deals a year, but they're not. It's all filtered. So how could we out-scam the scammers?
You got to do your due diligence,
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
Steve said. Like you got to use your gut too, right?
It's
like
gut,
it,
yeah.
it's your gut. Like if you feel like this is too good to be true, like you said, it probably is. And a lot of this stuff, especially in our industry, is actually fake.
Yeah. I went through so many coaching programs. I remember I went through one coaching program. I was always with Mike Ferry. Then there was another coaching company. But I remember I had to show him a T4A of like amount of money. I think I had he had to make $400,000 a year to get into this. I sent them a T4A. I think I just topped it like a 402 or something. And you know, I go, okay, great. This is like they're pre-screening who they're bringing into the group. These are all very high production agents that I'm going to be associated with and also coaching. 6 months I had to split. It was just smoke and mirrors. And what happens is when people are weak and they see like some sort of like this figure, like cult figure that keeps like making them feel good, they'll stay forever and keep paying and really produce nothing out of it. For me, I need production. Like if I have to pay money, I have to get something out of it. And you know me personally, like so how many coaches we kind of flip through. Actually, currently now is like one of my best coaches I've ever had in real estate for sure. And because why? He's a lot smarter than me. He's a better business owner than me. I'd rather not say his name, but ultimately, yeah, because then it's gonna be it's not. To keep it to myself. I told Hussein about it, but ultimately, it's every time I talk to him is something I can add to my business or better my processing every time. So the calls are just like me making notes and then just trying to implement whatever we pulled in. I record the actual conversation Zoom call, then I can kind of go over it, kind of pick more like nuggets out of it, right? But that's what you need. But I see also one more thing. Even like spiritual leaders, a lot of people are going for this mindset, and then I not that I follow them, but I see them in sort of our loop of real estate. I'm like, but I know these people personally from 10 years ago, and that's not the guy you want to be like managing your mindset, because they can't manage their own mindset. So now you're paying someone to manage your mindset, and they can't manage their own. I think if I'm going to follow someone and pay someone, they better be damn good at what they do, for sure. But we're easy to admit when we're wrong. You know, and that's the whole point, because a lot of times you don't get it right. You get it right, you get it wrong. But at least you're admitting when you're right and wrong. At least you know the person on the other side of that camera understands that they're not perfect, and you know they're always trying to better the process, better themselves. So they're always giving the best information they have at that time. And if it's wrong, they're going to let us know about it. But because some people will have one messaging, like this Airbnb business that we talked in the last video, and they'll run with that to the end, even though there's so much things changing in that industry. But they don't mention the dangers of like owning a property like that, or basing your numbers on purchasing a property like that because of all the other stuff that's coming down the pipe. So that's what I'm saying. Like you just, honest messaging and having full integrity, right?
Well, that's how I found you guys, right? I followed a lot of people on Instagram, just like prior to being not fully engaged in real estate. But now that I've jumped in, and you really see the smoky mirrors, and I talk to a lot of people that they're not the same person on Instagram as they are, like you said, outside of Instagram. And then meeting you guys, I started following you guys on East Me Sweats, right? And now meeting you.
Cheap podcast.
It should be like a royalty.
It should. I should be paying. But it's true. You guys are like the same people, like you said, and claim to be.
When you started off in this industry, Mike, what was your perception of it? And then,
You get caught up in, like, you think everyone is large. Everyone's number one, top of everything, right? It depends how you calculate your numbers, but it takes time to filter through. I didn't want to jump into working with someone right away. It probably took me 2 years to actually contact people and find these guys, right? Because there's so much fluff, like they said. And maybe I can't read it as fast as Steve, but in time you realize, okay, this guy's full of shit, right? And you move on. So yeah, you have to. It takes time. You got to filter through the fluff and talk to the people and interview them.
I remember starting real estate. I was naive one, but 2009, 2010 is when I started. And I thought getting into real estate, it was like everyone was wealthy. Like, as I remember, so I got Royal LePage, I think it was 120 agents. I thought everyone was wealthy because, holy shit, these guys are selling real estate. The cars, everyone in the parking lot, everyone had great cars, right? And it was just, okay, like everyone's good. And then being naive and curious is the best way to kind of like, to understand who's full of shit, because you're building a base of like knowledge for the future if you go in with being curious and not having too much assumptions on the situation. But I thought, let me go in positive. Everyone's rich, everyone's got investment properties, everyone's developing. This is my mind, right? And then you start asking questions like, so where do you live? And it's just like, here, a townhouse. How long have you been selling real estate? 20 years. 20 years still in a townhouse. Okay, maybe he's got a lot of cash. How many rentals do you have? None. But you make $120,000 at that time, $120,000 to $150,000 a year for 10, 15 to 20 years. That's high income at that point. You know what I'm saying? A lot higher than what people were normally making. Where did this money go?
So where did it go?
They don't pay their taxes. The back end is very messy with taxation. They don't save for their taxation. And it's just always overspent. The lifestyle's overdone. The vacations, whatever they have, it's always overdone because it's fast money coming in.
Is this growing now?
It's always been. It's a real estate thing, yeah.
Yeah, like what's growing, and specifically with that, is the number of agents. And now there's just a lot more agents that want to be involved with that business.
Well, how many agents currently are there? Do you know?
Toronto Real Estate Board is like 72,000.
Is this still the largest board in the world?
I believe so, yeah. 72,000
And
agents.
out of the 72,000, how many do you think are doing more than 10 transactions a year?
He knows all.
Well, yeah. If you give me a
He's got the
second
whole
here,
thing. He sent me this. In the
I got
past.
the numbers.
You're right
yeah.
down his alley.
Look at him. Yeah.
This is the shit I like.
Well, facts is good. We want to do facts, right?
Okay, so we got the 2022 numbers, okay? So the enrollment rate is a bit higher. At that time, they counted just over 70,000 agents, right? So out of the 70,000 agents, there was just over 30,000 agents that wrote 0 transactions. There was about 30,000 of them did between 1 and 5. So that's basically 85% of the Toronto Real Estate Board did between 0 and 5 deals.
85%.
85%. And just to put it into context, like you asked about 10 deals, right? So let's just say between 11 and 12 deals, it was only 4% of the board, which was basically 2,000 agents. So 2,000 agents. And when you get up to, say, something around like 31 to 40 transactions, you've got only 257 agents writing those type of
So
deals.
you guys are in the 1 percentile.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
we have it on our
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh,
It might even be below 1%. It's 0.36.
Yeah, like I think even when I did it, not to show up, but there's like 0.3%, top 0.3% in Toronto real estate.
based
Wow.
on 70,000
Yeah.
realtors in the GTA.
Yeah,
And it's
In the
getting
GTA?
in the GTA.
Toronto Real Estate
Yeah,
Board.
Toronto Real Estate
Tron-
Board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, holy Jesus.
And that doesn't include Simcoe, does it? I don't think they've
No.
onboarded
No,
that.
no, not
And not
Simcoe.
even Halton.
So I believe
it's
it's,
the GTA.
Durham, Peel, Halton, York Region, and Toronto.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right here.
They can find us on Instagram, Facebook. No, it's not Instagram. I gotta do that again. I mean, not Facebook. Is it Facebook? We're on Facebook.
Mike, I think they can find you.
They can find me.
I think they can
Where
find
can they
you.
find you and where can they find the podcast? Where can they find you, Mike?
They can find me on Instagram at Mike Gaddy Realtor, or the podcast on YouTube or Spotify.
Real estate on record.
Real estate on record.
Nice.
Steve?
Yeah, at Steven Zelnardo on Instagram, and clearly wherever you're watching this, just tap one of the links. We'll get you
And
going.
our guest for today.
Yeah, you guys, if you want, you could definitely check me out at Get Kabani on Instagram.